Alright everybody, welcome back. A while back, of course, the network connectivity wasn't that good, and because of that thing I had to stop live then and there. And here we are back. Let's simply get going from here on, and hopefully right now everything's right. And we will just simply start discussing about the whatever we are supposed to be, like we have planned right now. As simple as that. So without any further delay, let's simply get going. One more last option, that's it. So everything is configured right now. I hope I'm audible. Yes or no? Let me check this thing. Turns out I'm not audible or what. Anyway, I should be audible. Am I? Such a crazy thing. I'll have to even check. Okay, it seems to be working. That simply means if I insane. Let me do one thing. Probably this one. Yeah, I'm audible. Alrighty, so without any further delay, let's simply get going. And what I'm gonna be doing or talking about over here, that's gonna be talking about these commands. First of all, let's talk about the git over here. This is the git cheat sheet that I just simply got. Okay, let's not worry about it. Let's talk about some of the important commands over here. First of all, this is the normal thing, git config, and then of course you can get the logs. So by the way, I don't have any logs right now. So git logs, if I just simply say, I don't have any logs as such. So let me just commit this message. So git commit m and init, just normal this. It turns out that I'll have to sign up with my email ID and with my name over here as well. So if this is the case, shouldn't I be doing the same thing on my local device? That would be even better, because on Vagrant doing the same thing is something that doesn't really make any sense. So let me exit from here. I'm not even gonna be talking about, I will not be working on this Vagrant machine, rather I would be working on my local machine right now. So present working directory, this is where I am right now. And apart from this particular thing, LSA, I don't have any git file over here inside this Ubuntu. So let me create one, or let me do one thing. Inside Ubuntu, I'm gonna be creating mkdir test directory. That's gonna be created lscd test.dir. Alrighty, so I'm inside this. And once inside this, I'm gonna be creating, initializing git. So git init. So this is how it's gonna be initialized. And once it has actually been initialized, after that I'm gonna be just simply adding a few things here. So git branch m. Let me change the branch name. That's gonna be the main branch over here. And once I've done this thing, so let me even create a file, and that's gonna be index.js over here. The normal commands are gonna be console.log. Let me make it bigger. Hi there. And this is how it's gonna be going on. By the way, well, this is wrong anyway. Alrighty, so we've done it. Let me save it. ls clear it cat index.js. So we have this thing inside this. What is the next thing right now? If I say git status, so okay, this one hasn't been added, so let me add this as well. So git add, because if I directly try to check out, I will not be able to. So it is just simply saying that index.js did not match any files known to git. So let me just simply add this as well. So git add, git commit ultimate. These are just normal commands. Initiate or init, ls git log. I don't just git log, I think. Okay, so this is the log that we have. So we have one log over here. And apart from this particular thing, if you want the log in one line, so you can just simply run this command, one line, and you should be getting the log in one line, and even you are getting this particular ID of that particular log. So yeah, these are the things, these are the normal things that anybody does. And apart from this particular thing, you can even know more about the changes that you made using git show. So we will be just briefly talking about all these things. So we have git show over here. And get a show, you actually need the ID, so you need to have the commit ID over here. So there are two ways, either you can get logs, get log actually, and you have this ID over here. So of course you'll have to copy this. So get log, and once I copy this particular ID from here, let me quit it, and git show will mainly show me the changes that I made in this particular file. So it is just simply saying that over here, new, not this here. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So ultimately this particular line got added, so plus in the sense that just simply got added over here, and this is how it just simply goes on. By the way, apart from this particular thing, there's another thing as well, get log one line. So using this particular command, you are gonna be getting the logs in one line, like the ID is gonna be shorter. And if you quit it, and if you just simply run the same command using this short ID over here, it will sort of will give you the same result as well. So okay, let's simply end this. We've gone through all these things. So we've talked about git log and all. You can even change, create a new branch. Should we be doing that? Git branch, see new branch. Even if you check out directly, the new branch will automatically be created. And or you can just simply say it like this. So C stands for create over here. You can even check out. So there are two ways. If I just simply run this command, I think I need to add b over there, -b. So git checkout test. Yeah, it cannot really be created. So I have to say git checkout -b and test. So this is how new branch is gonna be created. And not only that, a new branch hasn't just been created. You have been even switched to the new branch. So if I talk about the branches right now, so git branches, I think this is the command, not really. Git branch, this is the command. Yeah. So this command mainly gives us the list of the branches. We have main branch, we have test branch over here, and the content of both the branches are same. Let me be inside this git branch, test branch only. And why not just simply create few more? Suppose this is the first command, by the way, git branch and -b, git checkout actually. So git checkout -b and new branch name, and this is how you can just simply create the branch. So there are a few things here. First of all, this is the command, and git checkout -b new branch name. This is how you can create a new branch as well. So ultimately this also creates a new branch. Having said that, the first command we have already run. If I run git and what was the command over here, branch -c, it should be creating that as well. So git branch -c, and this is gonna be the new one. And it turns out it has created that, but let me see have I switched or not. So git branch, I haven't switched first of all, but this new branch has been created too. So ultimately we have two commands over here. We have git branch -c and the branch name. Ultimately you can enter any branch name over here. That particular branch is going to be created. The only thing is that you will not be switched to that particular branch, so you will have to switch separately. That simply means you will have to run git checkout and check out to that particular branch, and you will be switched. So right now you are using this, you are inside this new branch that you have of course created. And apart from this particular thing, if you want to switch to the main branch, so you can just simply run git checkout main, and you are gonna be in the main branch. This is just the starting, because you can even run git switch, and this particular command is going to be used for switching if I'm not wrong. So let me switch to the test user, and yeah, you have even switched to test, not test user, actually test a branch, and it turns out to be working. So git branch will be just simply giving me the list of all the branches that I have, and sort of this is how, not actually exit, just simply clear it. This is how the things are gonna be working on. So we've talked about git log, git show. These are sort of, as you move further, you will be getting more and more commands that are not the normal ones. Like if you know about them, that's really a good thing, because we are of course not discussing about the normal commands here. Okay, so we've gone through this, and you can just simply switch as well. You can check out a new branch. So just simply both the things do the same thing. Switches the branch. This also does the same thing. Switches the branch. So we talked about these two things, and again at the end of the day we will be just simply recapping everything. Git branch A, it will just simply list all the branches. That's crazy, because let me see whether it works or not. So git branch A, so ultimately git branch and git branch A, both of them do the same thing. That's insane. Okay, by the way, this is also one of the things. So it depends on you which command you are gonna be running. So lists all the branches. So these are the two commands that do the same thing. These are the two commands that do the same thing. So git branch C, new branch, or git checkout -b, new branch. They will create the branch. The only thing is that it will create branch but doesn't switch. But this creates a new branch and switches as well. and we have git branch over here. Even for switching, we have git checkout new branch or git switch new branch. This is how you can just simply go ahead. And apart from this particular thing, let me create some more ones. So git status, right now we don't, again simply gives you the status, we don't have any changes in the file. So let me do one thing, vim, and this time I'm gonna be creating server.js over here, and I'm just simply gonna be logging. So probably console.log server file. Again, not really willing to write some code here, just this much is fine, git status. And ultimately this server.js file has been created, and once it has been created, you can just simply remove it anyway and it will not make any difference. And the second thing is that you can just definitely add this. And even before adding this, if I say git checkout and server.js, by default it will not work. First of all, I will have to add. Exactly, I will show what am I trying to do using this particular command, but before that I'll have to add it. I'll have to let git track this particular file so that it knows the changes and all. So git add, and I'm gonna be adding server.js, git status, it's been added. And once it has been added, so you can even go back, like what have we done over here. These are the three stages that we have. First of all, we normally make some changes. Am I doing the right thing here? Just a minute. And we wanna get the difference. Yeah, so ultimately, first of all, what you do, you normally make the changes in the file and you wanna go back, roll back. So ultimately, but that file needs to be tracked by git. So we will be talking about this particular thing, exactly how it works. The second thing is that you have staged in the sense you have added the file. So at that time, if you wanna know the difference, that's okay. If you wanna restore, ultimately if you wanna go back, so at that time you are gonna be using git restore staged, because of course we have staged and we want to restore. And which file you want to restore, just mention the name of that particular file. So this is the second thing. First thing, normally you made some changes in the file and you wanna roll back, so this is the first situation. Second, you added that file, that simply means you staged the file and now you want to roll back, so that's the second situation. And the third situation is that you have actually committed and now you want to roll back. And there can be many things. You want to roll back to the previous commit, or you want to roll back to a specific commit, and that too whether you want to maintain the history or not, or you just wanna roll back to a previous commit and wanna erase all the histories. So these are such things that you can actually do. So let's go through them one by one. First of all, this one, because right now we are in the stage because we have actually added this. How will you know if you are seeing everything as green? That simply means that's been added. And it is even saying that telling you this particular thing. So like you don't even go somewhere and look for the command. It is just simply telling you git restore staged the name of the file to unstage this. That simply means this particular file has been staged, and now if you want to unstage, so you have to just simply run this command. So git restore, and because of course the file is staged, and what do we want to do? We want to just simply roll back. So staged, and what is the file over here? The file is server.js. If I just simply run and if I check the status right now, it has been rolled back. So ultimately this is how the things work on. So there are mainly three situations. First of all, when you normally make changes in the file and you want to roll back, when you stage that and you want to roll back, when you commit that and when you want to roll back. So we are going to be talking about all these three situations. But first of all, suppose I made some changes. This is a server.js over here, and if I vim server.js, and I'm going to be adding one more line over here. This is just the another line. Let me just simply save it. Once it has been saved, so I have made some changes, but I want to go back to the previous result, previous thing that I had. So I cannot go to the previous version of it right now, because git is not tracking. So for going to the previous version, git needs to be tracking that particular file. If git is not tracking, so even if you run git checkout and server.js, it will not work. It is just simply saying that did not match any file known to the git. So what is the solution over here? The solution is pretty simple. Add this file, and once you have added, check the status. Once the status is checked, git and commit second commit. I mean the name can actually be anything, so that doesn't really matter. So this is gonna be the second one. So as for right now, git I mean if I just simply run ls over here, so we have two files. So as simple as that, we do have them. And what do we need to do now? The next thing that we actually want to do, that is I'm gonna be making some changes to index.js over here. So if I just simply cat index.js here, so we have this log written over here. And what do we want to do? We want to make some changes inside this. So vim index.js, and suppose just a minute, this is index.js file. So this is the change that I have made. And right now if you actually have a look at the status, so you are saying that this particular file has been modified. So only the files which have been modified, you can just simply go back to the previous version. So ultimately there are two things. First of all, git add in the file name to update that will be committed, and git restore discard the changes in the working directory. So whatever changes you have made, you can just simply run git restore and the file name, that's the index.js. So as I have added a new line over here, so if I actually say cat index.js, so I have added this particular line. Even you can change the check the differences. So you have to just simply run git git diff will be giving you the changes that you have recently made. So recently what I have done, inside index.js file, this was the line that I already had there. This is the line that I have added here. That's pretty simple. Let me do one thing, quit it, and if I make some changes to the vim server.js as well, so probably I think I should be adding the third line over here. So this is a server.js file. Suppose this is the one that I'm adding. So right now I have made changes to the index.js file as well and a server.js file too. So ultimately if I run git diff over here, so it is gonna be giving the differences of both the files. So first of all, it is telling me about index.js, that initially there was this particular line, then you added a new one, and same over here, initially there were these two lines and you added these two lines extra. One is just the empty line, another one has something in that. Okay, so this much we've done. But what about we want to roll back? So for rolling back, it is even giving you the command, that is if you run git status, so it is simply giving you the command. Either you can add them or you can just simply roll back. Ultimately, if you don't want to have the changes, suppose I don't want to have the changes of the server.js file, so what can I do? Right now if I just simply cat this server.js file, so it just simply shows me this result. Now if I restore, so git restore, and I want to restore server.js, if I run this particular command, right now if I check the status, so git status, first of all it is telling me only index.js has been modified, and if I try to cat the server.js over here, so it is giving me just the previous result. So ultimately it just simply rolls back. When it only happens when you do not have, when that's not ultimately that is just simply added, not even added, that just simply been modified, that is not even the stage mode. I mean normally if you modified something, you can just simply go back only when that is being tracked by git. So this is the first thing. And there's another command. What is that? So you can even run git check out and the file name index.js, and if I run this particular file, updated one path from the index, that simply means if you run git status, you are not getting that particular file here. That simply means it has just rolled back here as well. So if I just check the cat index.js, so you are just simply seeing one line over here. That simply, and if I check out the git log here, so I have two logs here, and ultimately they are the current files that I have right now. So this is how it just simply goes. So ultimately you have two commands for just rolling back when you just simply change something normally and git is tracking that. So first command is this git checkout and the file name. The second command is git restore and file name. So ultimately both the commands do the same thing. So you can just simply check them out. Either you git check out the file name or you just run git restore file name, it will be just doing that. You can even know the differences. So using this particular command you can know the differences. Let's talk about rolling back when you have actually staged the file. We have even talked about it once, so no need to worry about it. Ultimately what I want to say, git status, we don't really have anything here. Git ultimately vim, and let me make some changes in the index.js. Ultimately what am I gonna do? This is the line that I have, simple, and I'm gonna be just simply copying it and pasting it a few times. I've cut that, never mind, let me undo everything. Let me copy the line, and once it is copied, let me just simply paste over here. So that's what I've done. Save it. And apart from this particular thing, I'm gonna be doing the same thing in vim server.js over here. So probably I'm gonna be copying the second line over here. So just click double Y, that's gonna be copied, and click P as many times. I mean just keep clicking on P and that's gonna be just simply pasted. It's pretty simple. I have already talked about all these commands. So once we have done this, if you run git status, so you are gonna be getting both the files. What do we want to do? Git it is just even telling you The first thing is that first of all you have to add them, then second you have to just simply commit them. And not only that, you can even restore. So ultimately if I want to restore index.js, so I can just simply say git restore and index.js, it is gonna be restored. That simply means if you run this command, so you will only be getting server.js. so you are already getting all these commands, like the needed commands, or like on the CLI only. And if I just simply commit this, so I can say git even there is another command, that is git what is that, git commit am, I think this is the one. So over here what you can do, you can add and commit at the same time. So ultimately you can add separately, you can commit separately, or you can add and commit at the same time. The only thing is that when you are adding something, so right now it is not staged, so ultimately when you are adding, that becomes a staged file. So when something is not staged, at that time you have to just simply run git store, and you will be getting the previous result, I mean whatever result it has earlier, whatever data it had earlier. And when you have committed that, you will have to just simply sort of what will you will have to say git restore hyphen staged in the file name, and then it will be rolled back. So ultimately there are ways to just simply roll back from any stage, and this is how it just simply goes on. But right now I'm directly gonna be adding as well as committing. That simply means it's gonna be committed. Or let me just let me see whether it works or not. So commit am and modify server.js, and yes, it worked. That simply means if I run git status, it's not gonna. By the way, this is the command that you have to keep in mind. This particular command is used for adding and committing at the same time. But there is a there's a catch, that it will only work when you are doing the second time. That simply means first time you will have to add it separately, you will have to commit it separately if there's any file. The second time you can just simply run this command. Only second time works. Ultimately when it works, when git is actually tracking it, when git is tracking it, at that time you can just simply run this command, it will work. Alrighty, we will even talk about it in detail, but for now let's just simply continue with move to the next one. So it's been logged. That simply means if I just simply get the log over here, so I'm gonna be getting this modify server.js. So it's not been logged, it's been actually committed. Now if I want to roll back, I can even get these logs in one line mode. So one line. So this is how you can just simply get the logs. Now if you want to ultimately roll back in the sense, if you want to go to the previous changes, you can even do that from here. And for that thing we have the last one over here, when committed. If you want to, even here you could have checked the what is that thing called, you could have checked the differences. We are going to be talking about it very soon. And just in here, if you want to just simply roll back, so you can have, if you want to check the differences, so you can have the previous ID and the current ID, and you will be able to check the differences, exactly what has been changed. And not only that, you can revert back to the previous change. Not only that, you can even kind of get a reset hard, not this thing here, there's one more thing here I'm missing. Git I'm missing one thing. And what is that thing? Git revert or restore? Probably that is revert. Git reset. This will just simply reset everything, brings you back to the commit ID level, and all the afterwards commits are removed. That simply means in that case you will have to use probably revert. Let's see whether it's gonna be working or not. Okay, so first of all, what stage we are on? We are on the third stage. That simply means we've committed everything, and git log will just simply give you the log IDs. And what I want to do, I want to roll back to the previous one. That's pretty simple. You have to just simply, even if before that, if you wanna see the changes that you have made, so git log one line, and this is the first this is the current ID and this is the previous ID. And if I wanna check the differences, so of course I have to copy them, and it turns out there's no way to copy them. That's insane. In that case, how am I supposed to be doing this? Git log, that's okay, one line, but I have to copy these two IDs. So let me just simply copy them like this. Don't really have any other option. And this, paste them here, run this. Of course that's not gonna work. And git diff First of all, you need to have the previous id. This is the previous id, save it here, I mean keep it here, dot dot, and the current id that you have. So just go on like this, run this command, and you are gonna be getting the changes. We are not getting any changes here. Why is that so? The id is the same, so this was the one that we were supposed to be using. So okay, not a problem. So let me replace it with the current one, and right now we are getting all the changes that we have made. So first of all, we have made the changes in the server.js, and these were the lines that were already added. These are the lines that we have added right now, and this is how it just simply goes on. So yeah, we are able to check the differences as well. So this is what we checked in the committed mode. And now if you want to roll back, so I can just simply say get a revert, and I wanna revert to the previous commit. So I have to just simply say this thing, get a revert header, and it's gonna be reverting me back to the previous commit. I can even modify it. I mean, I can give it the commit message over here. That's right, revert modify. This is the default commit message that has been given, and I can give it the commit message from my on side. But first of all, I would like to exit from here. So yes, how to exit from here, I don't know. Control C. This nano is crazy. I don't know how it's used and all. I'll have to learn this anyhow. But as for right now, Control X and enter. Control C. How to exit this? Say modified. Okay. This is how it works. I have to know more about it anyway. As for right now, I hope I haven't rolled back. So let me check the logs. Git log. So it turns out that I have reverted. What am I supposed to be doing right now? First of all, let me do one thing. Export. I think what was the command? Export. Export and editor. I want the editor to be Vim, because by default it is giving me nano. So I want my editor to be Vim by default. Let's simply run this. So right now, whenever I'm gonna be kind of getting the editor, that's gonna be the Vim one. Okay, by default. And what is gonna be the next thing right now? That is how to roll back when something is committed. There should be another command as well. How to roll back to previous commit in Git. Let me see. That I think that's called revert, and using revert we can just simply give it the ID. So probably that's so. Git checkout. You can check out. If you want to make commits while you are there, go ahead and make a new branch. You are at it. So ultimately a new branch is going to be made. So ultimately you can check out to a particular branch. It's as simple as that. And once you've been checked out to that particular branch, okay, so once you are there, what is the next thing you can do? First of all, temporarily switch to different commit. If you want to temporarily go back to it, fool around, then come back to where you are. All you have to do is to check out to the desired commit, git checkout, and you are gonna be there. And git checkout -b old state. And if you want to make commits while you are there, go ahead and make a new branch while you are at it. So you can just simply run this as well. That's sort of right. So old state and the commit that you have over here, and hard delete, that's gonna be git reset. Even you can stash the things and all. So okay, fine. Git reset hard. You can reset hard. We have this particular thing here. And can you use git reset directly? Git revert, you can use the ID to just simply revert. This will create 3 separate revert commits. Use non-merge only. So ultimately there's a lot that you can do over here. The important thing is that this git checkout, it will just simply check out, and to get just one you could use rebase I to squash them afterwards. You could do it manually. Be sure to do okay. Git revert no commit id header. Ultimately if you want to go back to one commit back, so at that time you can just simply use this particular command that is called git revert head. Even I myself have to learn a lot. Git is huge. It's not this is just the beginning. As you keep learning, you will keep knowing more about things, more about the things. But as for right now, let's simply continue. So what I want to do right now, git log, and I want to come back to this particular log over here, or probably this one. So what am I gonna be doing? Git log one line, and here I am. Now I want to come back to the second commit. So in that case, let me copy the id of the second commit. First of all, this is the id of the second commit, and what will this do? It will just simply, I'm gonna be resetting it hard. So that simply means git, and before even that, if I revert, that simply means I will still have the id to enter over there. Ultimately what I mean here, git revert, and if I just simply enter this id, then what will happen? Yeah, I am being asked to enter the name. By the way, this is the vim right now. So I am reverting back to second commit, and that's crazy message, but okay, I'm just simply gonna be adding it over here. And if I check the git log one line, so at the end of the day you have this particular commit right now. So what you did at this level, you just switched back to the second commit. That simply means if I say ls cat index.js, you have only this particular file over here. You don't even have server.js. So that's great, it works. And now what I want to do, git one line, and I want to switch to this particular one, but I want that all these messages, all these new commits that are being created, they should not be there. Rather I should directly be switched to this one. In that case, I have to revert hard. I have to just simply say git not even revert. First of all, you can revert just a minute. Even you can revert using the id. So let me just simply mention it over here. So git revert, and you can have commit id over here. Of course you will be asked the commit message, but once you enter that, you will be back to that particular commit. Apart from this particular thing, you can reset hard. So git reset hard, you just simply enter that particular id name, and once you enter it, you will be back to that particular commit, and there are gonna be no messages as such. So head is now at this particular commit. That simply means if I run git log one line, so all the commits are gone. Only the second the modify server.js, to which I actually reset back, rolled back, that's the commit is here. So this is how the things are gonna be working on. By the way, you have lost the previous ones. So great, this much we've done. And once this much is done, so ultimately we have talked about everything. So git log one line, okay, let's not worry about this. When you revert, it also stores the history of the changes that you made. If you don't want a history, you can just simply reset hard, and you can revert. You can check the references when it is committed, and you can even check the references when you have the staged file. So the changes can be checked like this. You can just simply restore it, and this is how the things are gonna be going on. Almost we have gone through everything whatever we had over here. So let's summarize it really quick. So first of all, what we discussed right now, we have these two things over here. We have index.js, we have server.js, cat even before that get status. We have nothing to do in here. So what am I gonna do? First of all, let me make some changes over here. So I have index.js, right? So let me vim index.js, and over here what am I gonna say or do? That's gonna be, I gonna remove the first of all, I gonna copy the first line, then I gonna remove the first line, and I gonna copy this line here. Ultimately I removed it from the top and pasted just somewhere in the middle. Okay, so this is done. We have, if I run get status, I'm gonna be getting this. Now if I want, I have made these changes, right? I have made the change to the index.js file, and now if I wanna check the difference, so get a diff will just simply give me the difference. So it is just simply telling me that first of all, it is not telling me about the things that I have left. So because sort of I have added it everywhere if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so in that case, let me do one thing. Let me just simply quit. And what am I gonna do over here? A vi or vim index.js over here, and let me have few more things at the top. So what are those things gonna be? This is just for testing purpose, just this. And if I say git diff here, still not giving me the result that I'm looking for. It is mainly because it is not committed yet. I mean, it was already committed earlier, wasn't this? It is just simply telling me the changes that I'm making. It is not telling me the lines that I have removed, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay, never mind. This simply gives the response like this. So ultimately you can just simply roll back as well. So git status, it is just simply telling me that this has been modified. You can just simply restore. You can check the differences. Checking the differences in the sense git diff, it's just simply gonna be telling you the differences that you have made. Similarly, you can modify vim server.js as well. So probably I wanna delete some of the files from here. So suppose these are the files that have been deleted, and just below, hi there, I'm gonna be just simply copying this and I'm gonna be pasting it here just like this. So this is what I've done. Save it. Git status, git diff is gonna be just simply giving me the differences. So first of all, I made these changes to the first file. Then okay, now it is giving me this is where it is just simply telling me that these are the lines that I actually removed, and then these are the lines that I actually added here. So ultimately this is how it gives me the result. So when it gives me the result, when I actually remove something and replace that with something else, in this case what happened? In this case I did do that, didn't I? But I should be doing it probably in the middle and all, then only it works. Never mind, whichever way it works, but ultimately I'm getting the things that happen, I mean that got done here. Okay, and quit it. So we are able to check the differences. If I want to roll back, I can roll back. Rolling back in the sense, suppose I want to roll back of the file index.js. So git restore and index.js, run this one. So git status, of course I have to run git status. So I'm just simply getting this server.js file only, and if I cat index.js over here, that's only one line. Let me make some changes over here as well. So git vim index.js. right now I'm gonna be making the changes in that particular file only. So vim and anything in between, I mean doesn't really matter, save it. And git diff, it is telling me now, earlier there was hi there, now you have made the changes and all. So this is how it just simply gives us that. So okay, we've done it. And what is the next thing that we have to do? Once we have done this, we have even restored it, so we know how to restore. Let's simply commit both the things right now. Not even commit, let's just simply add them. So git status, both of them have been added. Now from here you can just roll back again. You can just simply, even before that, you can check all the changes that you have made. So git diff, you can check the differences, but you will have to run -- cached over here. So once you run this particular command, so you will be seeing all the changes that you have recently made to this particular file. So these are the changes that you are seeing, even when the file is in the staged mode. So we have gone through this. What is the next thing? The next thing is that rolling back from the staged state, and that's pretty simple. Git restore staged, and just the file name. So staged, for the file name is index.js. If I run this git status, it is just simply saying that index.js is modified. Earlier it was staged, here it was staged, and it was sort of added, and here it is not staged. So let me just simply add it again. So git add index.js, and this is how it just simply goes on. So if I check it again, git status, both of them have been staged. I can unstage them using this command. We've already done that, so no need to worry about it. The next thing is that committing them. So git commit m and modify index and server files. Git status, no, nothing. Git log, yes, we do have a log over here. And now if I want to come back to the previous log, then what will I do? get, even before that, if I want to check the logs, differentiate, so get diff. Again, for that thing you need to know about the git log one line. You need to know about the IDs to check the differences. So let me just simply copy this from here. Again, I'm doing it because I don't know, I hope there's a way to just simply get these IDs somehow, but for now I'm just simply doing it for the quick reference. And what am I supposed to be doing here now? And that's pretty simple one. Doing in the sense, I have to roll back to the previous commit. So what was the previous commit? The previous commit was modify server.js, and that's pretty simple one actually. Get and you have to just revert back to the previous commit. So get revert and head. It will just simply revert you back to the previous commit. If you just simply run this, you will be asked to enter the name of the commit. So suppose and revert modify index dot ultimately we are reverting this particular from here, and that's fine. Let me just, this commit message is fine. I'm just simply reverting from here, and let me just simply save it. So this is done. If you check the logs right now, you are gonna be getting a new log over here, and it is just simply saying that you reverted from this particular commit. That's good. But what if I don't want the message over here, and what if I want to revert back to this particular commit? That's also possible. Get log one line. If you want to revert back to, suppose, modify server, this particular commit, so it's pretty simple. Get revert and the ID, just simply enter, and delete it from here. Add the new commit. That's gonna be what? Revert to modify server.js file or commit, just like this, and let's simply save it over here. So it's been done. So git status, not git status, git log one line. You are still getting that particular revert message. So whenever you are reverting, so you have to add a commit, and that commit is gonna be visible over here. Suppose if you don't wanna get that, so you will have to reset hard. So if you want to roll back to this one, and not only that, you don't want to have the commits, in that case you will have to just simply reset hard in the sense, but before that, let me just know more about the changes that I have made. So git diff, and the first previous commit is going to be this one, and dot dot the current commit. Suppose between these two commits I want to know the differences. So let me run them, and these are the differences that I made between these two commits. That's great. And now I want to roll back to this last commit, that was this one, but I want to reset hard this time. So get reset hard. What will happen whenever I'm resetting hard? At that time I will be back to this particular commit, and all the commits just afterwards, they are gonna be removed. So run this, get log, and here I am at this particular commit only. All the afterwards commits are gone. So get log one line, I can even say it like this, and this is how it just simply goes on. So that's what I wanted to discuss about. We have gone through all these things. Get log one line, revert, get log. Again, I myself have to learn a lot of things. As I just keep learning, I will be just simply sharing it with you guys. Of course, as it's gonna be learning in public, so no doubt some way or the other I will be talking about these things. So we have gone through this, but not only this much. Let me just download this particular file. Again, you can download this file from the online, so it's easy to get it. And as for right now, we have like, this is just for the setup. You will have to set up your name. You will have to set up your email, and probably color of the UI and all, and then git init, git clone. We know, these commands are pretty simple ones. Git status, git add, git reset. You can just simply reset a file. So ultimately, so what git reset does, git unstays a file while retaining the changes in working directory. So it just simply unstages the file while retaining the changes. That simply means there was another thing, git restore, right? So at the time you are back to the previous changes, and what this git reset does, it just simply unstays the file, but the changes remain there. You have git diff, staged. You can just simply know about the differences of the staged file. Diff of what is staged but not yet committed. Even there was another command over here. What was that? that was git diff cached. So both of them do the same thing. So let me even have the commands in one, like at a place. So we have this command over here, git diff cached shows the difference of the staged file, and we have even this git diff staged. By the way, this makes more sense over here. And similarly we have this, we had git restore staged, and we even have git reset, and file name is just simply resets, so unstages the file, but ultimately changes remain, changes persist ultimately. So this is also one of the things we will be just simply quickly checking whether how it works and all. But for now, let's simply go through the commands. Git commit m, and we can just simply give it the message. Okay, great. Git branch, we know that git branch name, create a new branch at the current commit. You can even create the branch like this. So okay, that's good. What all ways we had here? We had for creating the branches, what all we know over here. This is how branch gets created. Git checkout b, this is how branch gets created. Even we can create the branch, git branch -c and new branch name, it will just simply create the branch. And lastly we have one more command, that is what was that anyway? That was git branch and branch name. So git branch and new branch name. So ultimately whether you specify this -c over here or not, that doesn't really matter. It -c stands for create, if I'm not wrong, and this will automatically create that. So we've gone through this. Then we have git checkout over here, we've gone through this. Git merge, just simply for merging it. Git log for checking the logs, and it actually keeps going on like this. So we have git logs, we have git log, we can check the logs between the two branches, exactly what are the differences. Git follow and git log follow, and the file show the commits that change the file even across the names. Get a difference, well, it just simply keeps going on. Git remove, move. Someday let's plan to go through all the commands mentioned over here. Of course this is not the right time, because I have to go through some other things as well. This wasn't in the plan, but yeah, probably today, tomorrow, I'm not today, of course tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, let's simply plan and go through all the commands mentioned in this particular file, check them how they work, and share update. I mean, they're not the difficult ones, they're the most common ones. That is why I just simply want to go through them. And git rebase, git reset hard, we've gone through this, and even sort of description, they've been described as well. Git stash, mainly git stash is used whenever say modified and stays the changes. So suppose you have staged the changes, but now you wanna switch back to the another state, another branch. At that time you can just simply stash them, you can check the stat list, you can just simply get them back, you can drop them. So ultimately this is how it just simply works. Definitely it's not the right time, but we will be going through all these things. Okay, and even we have to talk about formatting minor. Okay, we can even give them the tag name. When should I be doing that? Git tag, how long has it been anyway? It's been 48 minutes. Okay, and giving the tag name to the commits, this is just the command git tag -a tag name, and the message and tag names are gonna be given. So what should we do right now? We've talked about this particular thing. Let's go live again tomorrow, and we will be discussing about the tag names, and probably we are gonna be discussing about this particular thing as well. What about right now? I'm gonna be quickly getting one thing done over here. This Vagrant and Linux. So ultimately these are, if you know Vagrant, these commands are gonna be pretty kind of familiar. So global status will give me all the status of all the Vagrant boxes that I have. And destroy, it will just simply destroy it forcefully. Git status prune will remove the stale information, that's fine. Destroy ID of the machine, so we can destroy the machine with the ID as well. Well, let's not worry about that. If you understood, okay. If you didn't, never mind. Okay, control shift p terminal, okay, that's also fine. Provoke CPU information, CPU info, yeah, it will give me the CPU info. So ultimately, even if in my on machine over here ls, if I go to cd etc ls, and I have many things over here, one of the folder is gonna be, or directory is gonna be proc here. By the way, I can directly filter it, so lsl, and I'm gonna be filtering it based on proc name. So yeah, this is the This is the file that we have over here, and this is actually a link. Just a sec. So isn't this a link over here? Yeah, this is just a link. So where is this file? This is inside proc and self. Okay, here we have this proc directory. Let me go to inside that particular directory, ls. Here I have something called CPU info. This is nothing but a file. If I just cat CPU info, so I'm gonna be getting the information about my CPU and all. So ultimately it just simply gives me the info. Pretty simple. I mean, I can just simply clear it from here, but yeah, it does give me the information of my CPU. And the interesting thing starts from here, how you are gonna be configuring your what is that thing called, how you are gonna be configuring your Vagrantfile. So the first thing is that there is something called inline script. That simply means whenever your Vagrant machine or ultimately virtual machine runs, at that time this particular script is gonna be kind of running. So you can just simply provision this particular script and this will be just simply running kind of inline script. So whatever you enter over here, whenever your virtual machine starts for the first time, it will be running this particular script. So that simply means it will be, if I have CentOS virtual machine, so it will be installing wget zip unzip over there git. It will be starting httpd, it will enable httpd, it will make a directory. Once the directory is made, it will be just simply saving these the values, log values of these two commands inside this particular file. So this is what it's gonna be doing. And again, these things are gonna be running the shell. So these are nothing but shell commands. And if you want to run that particular file again, so you can run just simply vagrant provision, it will be just simply running it again, or you can run vagrant reload provision. So whenever you reload that, at that time that's gonna be running, or whenever you start that, at that time it's gonna be running. So ultimately what I mean, this particular file will be running, this script will be running only when your virtual machine starts for the first time. If you want to run it again, so run this particular command vagrant provision, it will just simply run that again. Or if you want to reload in provision, so run this particular command. If you want to start in provision, run this particular command. And this is how the things go on. And you can even configure the things, so it's even clearer when we actually modify the real file. As for right now, it's pretty simple that this is the name of the box that you have. Over here you can just simply configure it. So you are configuring that this much memory your virtual machine should have, these many CPUs your virtual machine should have. Synced directories in the sense this particular directory on your local machine should be synced to this particular directory on your virtual machine. How it works, we will be seeing it in action. Config network, you are just simply saying that the private network should have this particular IP. So you can just simply, it should be 56 over here, this much is going to be fixed, and this thing can actually be anything. And this is the range of the private IDs that you get, anybody gets. Actually there are 3 IDs, 10.0.0.20, something like this. The another thing is 192.168, I mean 192.168.56.0. so you can actually have anything over here. And the another one is 172 point something, I forgot, but these are the ranges of the given private IP address, I mean range. So you can just simply go through this, and not only that, you can specify a public network. That public network your virtual machine will be using, and you will have to even tell clearly that this particular network it will be using as a business network. We will be going through it, and once this is done, then we are going to be getting an HTML file from this particular website. And once we've done that, then yum install. We will do it all these things in actions really quick, but before that, let me see exactly what's happening over here. So systemctl, and I think httpd, that is can we install httpd on Ubuntu? Can we install httpd in Ubuntu? Yes, you can install Apache httpd on Ubuntu. On Ubuntu it is packaged as Apache 2 and is available in default software repositories. Install it using sudo apt install Apache 2. So ultimately we will have to install it like this, and once it is actually installed like this, then sudo allow Apache full systemctl status Apache 2. We'll have to allow it in the firewall and all. Okay, let's not worry about this, we'll see it exactly how it goes. By the way, it is called httpd directly in CentOS. It is called httpd, and in Ubuntu you can do the same thing, but that is actually called Apache 2. And then you have to just simply go to this particular directory where www.http. You don't even need to remember this, because whenever you run, HTTPD on your local machine, it will be simply telling you that go to this particular folder, change the file and all, and the job will be done. By the way, we'll be doing it all these things in action. Get the index.html, systemctl, restart this, download ultimately from the file, from the link, then inside the temp, get it. Once you have got it, then copy everything and paste it, sort of paste it inside this, and then just simply restart HTTPD, restart firewall LD, check the status, stop it, disable it. Probably it needs to be disabled, we'll see it, and that's it. The job is done. So ultimately what we are gonna be doing here, pretty simple. We will be running web app, ultimately website, inside the virtual machine, and we will expose it, sort of it's gonna be running inside virtual machine, and using the IP address of that particular virtual machine, we will be able to access it on our local machine, because again the virtual machine will be getting the network from our local machine. So sort of they are gonna be in the same network. My main machine and the virtual machine sort of gonna be in the same network, and hence we will be able to access that. Just a minute. Alrighty, I hope it's clear. So let's continue. So what am I gonna be doing over here? Pretty simple thing. Let me exit from here. We still have to talk about some of the commands in Git. We will be talking about them. As for right now, let's simply get this particular part done. So clear, and one step back, cd background ls, and suppose I'm gonna be running it, I'm gonna be doing all these things inside the Ubuntu machine. So cd ubuntu ls vagrant status. Hopefully no machines are running right now. Vagrant status. Okay, this machine hasn't been created yet, so let me configure it the right way. First of all, configuring it the right way in the sense, inside Ubuntu, this is the, I have tested yeah. It turns out I have worked on quite a lot of things. So let me do one thing. This is the name of the image that we are gonna be, this is the name of the box that we are gonna be running. So clear, and ls mkdir my Ubuntu, I'm gonna be naming it this, cd my Ubuntu ls, and inside this I'm gonna be initializing the new Vagrant file. So Vagrant init, in the name of the box that you want to run. In my case, this is the one that I want to run, or probably we can run some other one. How will I know the box? So if you actually go here, Vagrant box list, this box search page, and here you can just simply search all the Ubuntu boxes. You can just simply run them, and in return that will be creating the virtual machine for you. So just a minute, hopefully it's not gonna be taking a lot of time. Why is it taking this much time? That's crazy. Okay, if I search Ubuntu over here, so these are the list of boxes. This one has been downloaded the most, so let me just simply click on this Ubuntu Trusty 64. I'm gonna be running over here, and for the name you can just simply get the name from here. So I'm just simply gonna be getting the name once. I literally don't know how to copy. And once I've done this, so Vagrant init, again Vagrant needs to be installed your machine. If you run this particular thing, you are gonna be getting the Vagrant file that got automatically created. Once we got the file, if I go to this particular folder, this one I'm working with, so let me remove all the files. This is the file of the my Ubuntu where I just simply ran the command. And what all we have over here, first of all, it is just simply saying that config VM box Ubuntu 64. This is the virtual box that is gonna be running, and ultimately we can just uncomment a few things from here. What I want to uncomment, first of all, this one probably, config box check update. This is not recommended. Vagrants, okay, let's forget about this. Disable automatic box update checking. If you disable this, then boxes will only be checked for updates when the user runs this particular command. This is not updated, by the way. It is true by default. You can just simply uncomment this, and this is gonna be false. So that simply means your box will not be updated. The second command is this, that you can just simply run. config VM network forwarded port, and what it is saying that create a forwarded port mapping which allows across to a specific port access to a specific port within the machine from a port on the host machine. So ultimately in virtual machine you will be able to access that particular port from your local machine in the virtual machine, that is in the virtual machine. Example, accessing localhost 8080 will access port 8080 on the guest machine, ultimately the virtual machine. Note this will be public access to open. Okay, that's fine. So ultimately we have to run something here and we should be able to get that, so that's fine. So in that case I have to just simply run something on port 80, and I think Apache 2 that directly runs on port 80, so we should be able to get this. So let it be enabled, we'll see whether it works or not. And then the third one is this, what it is saying that forwarded port, it is just the same. Create a forwarded port mapping which allows to access a specific port within the machine from a port on the host machine. Only allow access via this disable public access. So ultimately over here it's gonna be accessible publicly, and over here it's only gonna be accessible on this particular port. That simply means even if I write 0.0.0 I should be able to access this, and if this is turned on then I will be able to access this here. Okay, let's do one thing, let's go with this one for now. I'm gonna be turning off this one and we'll see what we'll turn it on probably later. Okay, so this particular thing we've done, and we were using this particular port as well, and the host IP, and then create, ultimately just the IP, not the host IP. Then create a private network which allows host only access to the machine using a specific IP. So you can make sure that a specific IP is used over here. By default IP will be given to you by the Vagrant system only, but over here you can specify that you want 192.168. there should be 56 at the end, and the next number can actually be anything. That can be 1, that can be 2, that can be 3. In our case let me make it 10, or probably 1 as well. And then create a public network which generally matched to the bridge network. So bridge your networks, make the machine appear as another physical device on your network. So it's if I add this as a bridge network, so this particular virtual machine is gonna be another device, another physical, it will work as like a physical device on the same network. And for that thing I will have to specify this bridge network over here, exactly what kind of network it is gonna be using. And for that thing I'll have to see the IP address show, and suppose I'm using Wi-Fi right now, so let me get the name of that. So what is the name of that Wi-Fi that is running right now? Just a minute, ignore the noise around me, that's just some work going on. And right now I have this Wi-Fi, but I'm not really getting wireless address here, sort of wireless. Okay, this is the one. So this is just the name of the wireless connection. So what am I gonna do here? I will just simply paste it here, that's simple. So okay, this much we have configured. Again, these things are not required, but if you want to configure it on your own, so you can just simply definitely configure it. And then the next one is this, that we have like a synced folder. You can specify a folder on your local machine that will be synced to the folder in your virtual machine. So suppose I want to say that in my local machine I want to have scripts again in the current folder. So let me create scripts over here. So scripts folder, so this is the script folder. This script folder should be synced to what? Should be synced to /tmp temporary /scripts. Suppose I'm gonna be creating scripts inside that machine as well, so I'll be getting it done. Ultimately I will be creating this script folder and they are gonna be sort of synced. Just a minute. Alrighty, so let's continue. I'll see exactly how it works and all. And apart from this particular thing, what do we have it here? VM synced folder current directory needs to be current directory is going to be synced to this particular folder in Vagrant, and that's sort of fine as well. So what it does, first of all, share an additional folder to the guest VM. The first argument is the path on the host to the actual folder. The second argument is the path on the guest mount to that folder. The optional third argument is set as non-required option. Okay, that's okay. Let's go with this one. Disable the default share of the current code directory. Doing this provides improved isolation between the Vagrant box and your host by making sure your Vagrant file isn't accessible to the Vagrant box. If you use this, you may want to enable additional shared subfolders as shown above. So disable is true over here. That simply means by default what happens, that my current directory, this Vagrant1, this directory is automatically synced to the Vagrant directory of my virtual machine, and we can just simply disable it here. Again, it's completely up to you if you want to disable that or not. It is just simply saying that the current directory is synced to the /vagrant folder on your virtual machine, and that is actually sort of disabled right now. So let's not enable it, let it be synced, not really big problem. And lastly we have this, so I'm gonna be enabling this this option as well. What will this option do, that I can assign the memory, like it will be using 1 gigabyte memory over here, and vb dot cpu's, and if I want to give it to CPU, I hope this is right. Now whether this is CPU or CPUs, I'll have to check it in my notes. So if I actually come here, so this is actually CPUs, and by the way VB and CPUs, and okay, that's how it's gonna be going on. So sort of we have mentioned it as well. What we are simply doing over here, display the VirtualBox GUI when booting the machine. So VirtualBox GUI, it simply makes sure because by default we only get the server, so if we want to display the GUI, we can just simply run this command. So okay, let's simply enable this as well. And what else, view documentation for the provider. Lastly, this particular option we can enable over here. What this option is used for, it is used for running some commands when this my virtual machine starts for the first time. So suppose it is just simply installing updating, and after updating it is installing Apache 2. It just simply goes on like this, and I can say apt get Apache 2, that's okay, and apt get install zip, install unzip, say yes for all of them, and apt get a system, not really, then I have to say systemctl. It will be starting Apache 2, and it even needs to be enabled, so enable Apache 2, and that is it. That's all I want over here. So ultimately sort of I have configured it the way I wanted, and again I configured it knowingly to just simply know more about the commands and all. It's not like all the time you need to just simply go through it, and even if you are going through it, you already know what to do next, so it will be quick. It doesn't take this much time anyway. But if I just simply run vagrant up command, so it will be using this vagrant file that we had over here, and will be creating the virtual machine for us. So let's simply run this. The first error, that is bridge and this, and we are getting the error over here. So unexpected syntax error, there is a problem, we made a mistake somewhere, and that is somewhere here. It ends well over here. This one starts from here, it ends well over here. I think in what is that thing called, in CentOS it works that it did not, I didn't have to face this issue. In here I am having to face. What is the error actually? Vagrant failed to initialize at very early stage. There is a syntax error in the following Vagrant file. The syntax error is message is reproduced below convenience. So Vagrant line number 40. Okay. So is this the, okay, this is the error, I get it. But why is this not able to use Wi-Fi? I mean bridge. It should be just simply like this. Now it's gonna be working, sorry. And let me just simply run the same command, vagrant up, and it will be again getting that. Okay, not a bad thing. Let me see if I can do something here. One more. Bridge is the problem. Okay, fine. I'll have to use comma over here. Seriously? That's insane. Okay, now it's starting. So let's see, it's gonna be just simply starting the virtual machine, and we can even see the virtual machine being created over here. So in this particular virtual machine is being created. This is in the running state right now, and let's see how long it's gonna be taking. Even I have enabled a GUI version. That simply means I should be getting sort of GUI to look at. Not sure, but let's see. Show it to me. So yeah, sort of GUI is also running here. So that's great, we enabled it, and that is why we will be able to see the GUI, whatever it is. Let's just simply wait for a while. Oh my god, it is gonna be taking around 9 minutes, 8 minutes to just simply spin it up. Okay, not that much time, but of course it is gonna be taking some time. But it's quite quick, not gonna be taking a lot of time. Just hope so that it's gonna be sort of like this. But at the end of the day, it is gonna be a time taking process. So it will at least take 5 minutes to. Not really, it's quite quick, really quick. It will be done like within a minute or something, if I'm not wrong. It should be done. But let's see, I'll actually have to wait till then. It is just simply 22% done. Forget about this getting it done. It will take time, around 1/4 of the time that it has taken. So okay, meanwhile, what we can do, of course I want to go with the same setup. That simply means I'll have to wait, and as we are using Ubuntu over here, that simply means we will have to go with Apache instead of going with HTTPD, and that is it. And this is how we are gonna be getting the things done. Meanwhile, let me talk about this stuff over here, Git. So we had Git over here. We even talked about all these commands, and there were a few more commands over here in this particular file. We still have to talk about them. But first of all, let's talk about this. What is that thing called? But I have removed everything. No, I haven't. So in that case, these versions we already know. Like there is a patch. I mean, if you are making some normal changes, so that's gonna be the patch. If you have added a new feature, that's gonna be the minor. If you have changed the whole system, many things have been changed, and that is application breaking changes and all, that's gonna be the major one. So there are 3 types of changes that we have. So ultimately, if you are fixing the bugs and all, and that's gonna be the patch. If you are adding the new feature and improvements, that's gonna be the minor. And if you are actually bringing the major changes, and it is not backward it is backward incompatible. Ultimately, it is not compatible with backward versions and all. That's gonna be the major change. By the way, we mainly wanted to talk about this thing. We can even add a commit message. So get a tag and the tag name that you want to give and the commit. And git show tag will simply give you the list of all the tags. And first of all, tag a commit, and then we can simply tag a commit, as simple as that. Annotated tags, git tag -a. We have to just simply give the tag name over here, and we can give the message over here, and that's gonna be committed. For example, git tag, this is the version for that, and this is the message for that. So this way you are giving the tag as well as you are giving it a message, and that's gonna be committed. And you can push, so git push origin tag and tag name. So you can push this particular tag, you can push all the tags, and this is how you can just simply go ahead. So let me do one thing, let me do it in action, because wow, you know what the problem is now? I don't know. You assigned a static IP1. Literally, have I done that? This is very often used by the router, can cause the network problem. Okay, let me use 10 over there, that would be better. The host path of the shared folder is missing, so even I have to do that. So in that case, vagrant status Hopefully it is not running, not created yet, that's great. And as for this thing, temp scripts, I'm gonna be just simply saying that this needs to be created. So that simply means first of all I'm gonna be creating this folder as well. So mkdir temp scripts, this is gonna be created. And apart from this particular thing, this should be somewhere 10 because one is used by the system or something, so that is why I got this error. So in that case, let me just simply run it again, and it is saying that the host path of the shared folder is missing. So ultimately /scripts is not present. Host folder scripts, the host path of the shared folder is missing. So there are errors configuring this. Please fix the following errors. Virtual machine, the host path of the shared folder is missing. Okay, fine. How am I supposed to be creating this? Or let me do one thing. Temp probably temp is gonna be the directory. Will it work? Or root directory? But there should be a way to just simply create this as well. So temp is fine, or op is fine. Script, it should be created anyway. And if I'm mentioning actually this, so this particular command should be running first. It will still be problematic. So in that case, is there any way that I can create it directly? Let me see if I can do something. cd temp opt scripts, but ultimately we are not really creating this. What am I missing here? Opt DevOps dir. So ultimately this was being created, but ultimately this was created just for the storing purposes and all. That simply means this one should probably I haven't added this dot over here, sorry. That is not the problem. This is, I don't even need to create it over here. One thing that I missed, that is using this dot over here, and that is for the host machine. That's what it's been telling me, and I can even keep it inside temp. That's not really a big problem. Run this, and this should be working. Alrighty, pretty much simple. We keep getting the errors, keep fixing, and this is how it just simply goes. And hopefully by now the virtual machine is gonna be running. So this one has started, and as this has started, we are gonna be getting the GUI version as well of this particular machine, mainly because we have enabled this in the configuration. Let's see how it's gonna be going on anyway. So what is gonna happen now? Let's see. It is just simply still getting created on the way, but soon it should be done. It is just simply configuring more things right now because I have enabled, because of probably the GUI version. So it is just simply going to get everything that is actually needed for the GUI, if I'm not wrong, graphical user interface, so that it is actually able to show me. And that is right, it is sort of doing the same thing. Alrighty, interesting, that's great. The question is, how long will it take? Okay, there was an error here. dpkg pre-configure. Okay, that's not really a big problem. Congratulations, we got one more. That is temp vagrant shell line number systemctl command not found. It is saying that systemctl command, systemctl Command not found. So don't we have systemctl command over here? The sh command Vagrant assumes this means the command failed. This. Let me do one thing. Let me just uncomment this particular part. I'm not gonna be sort of provisioning anything as such over here. And Vagrant status. The machine isn't well. The machine is actually running. So Vagrant destroy. Yes. And Vagrant up. I'm gonna be running it again, but without any inline scripts, and let's see how it's gonna be going on. Mainly it's been telling me that systemctl not found. That simply means probably it is not found, and I have to check whether in Ubuntu it is working or not. So systemctl status, do I have that? I don't really have it here. So in that case, what? Sudo apt install Apache 2. It's gonna be installed. Once it is installed, so systemctl status Apache 2. It is working, bro. So what was the problem? By the way, sudo apt remove Apache 2. It's just simply gonna be removing that. Okay, so it is sort of working right now. Coming back to this. Okay, even this machine is running. That simply means my overall GUI is working. Continue in the background. Login. How am I gonna be logging? I don't know. Vagrant login. I think Vagrant is the user here. I don't know the password. Incorrect. Let me exit. So I am just simply gonna be SSHing into the machine. That would be better because I have no idea about the password of the Vagrant user. So Vagrant SSH from my terminal. I'll have to set the password for this Vagrant user. Let's see. First of all, I should be able to SSH into the machine. ls. Right now I'm inside that particular machine. So how am I supposed to be checking this? Present working directory. That's the home Vagrant. Host name. That's the Vagrant Ubuntu. What? Such a bad name it has. Okay, never mind. Cat OS etc OS release. This is the information about the OS. I hope I could make it a little beautiful. Okay, but never mind. But ultimately Ubuntu is being used over here. That's what matters at the end. Okay. Okay, that's fine. What am I gonna be doing now? The next thing is that actually installing sudo apt install. First of all, sudo apt update would be better if I just simply update this, and then we have to run a web app here, and that's the main goal, and we should be able to access that. And by default, if we run Apache over here, so that should be running on port 80. That simply means we should be able to access this on our local machine without the IP address of it. Let's see. First of all, it needs to be installed for sure. Using the IP address, of course, I can get it because it is in the same network. The thing is that we have to check, are we able to get it without the IP address, because we have configured it. So we should be able to do that. Not only that thing, this script folder is actually synced to a folder inside my virtual machine. So if I make something over here, that should be visible over inside the virtual machine as well. We'll have a look at that too. So we have configured a tons of things, a lot of things, and we will be just simply checking out each and everything. So as for right now, Apache has been installed. We have just simply updated it, and clear. If I go to cd /ls, so these are the directories that I have, and if I go to cd temp ls, we have this script that automatically got created, cd scripts. Here I have nothing, and here I have nothing. If I create files, suppose touch file, suppose I wanna create 10 files .txt. So these 10 files got created here as well. So these 10 files got created on my local machine, and right now I'm inside my virtual machine. So once I created these 10 files inside my virtual machines, they automatically got created on my local machine. And if I delete them from my local machine, so sort of these folders are synced. So I have deleted them from my local machine. If I say ls over here, they have been deleted from my virtual machine as well. So sort of these two folders are synced. Not only that, the default folder, that simply means this vagrant file, this is this vagrant.vag, ultimately this whole my Ubuntu folder is synced too. So how can I check it? If I say ls cd root directory ls, I have this vagrant folder over here. This vagrant folder is synced to this particular folder, my Ubuntu. So let me first of all go to cd vagrant ls, and now here I have scripts, and here I have vagrant file. Here I have scripts, and here I have vagrant file. That simply means whatever I have inside my Ubuntu folder, I will have all those things inside vagrant, mainly because my Ubuntu folder and that vagrant folder, they are synced. That simply means if I make something here, ls suppose touch hi.txt, I made this hi.txt over here, I'm able to access this inside this, and the same thing I got over here. That simply means it is working as expected. I deleted from there, it got deleted from here as well. So we have synced two things. We have synced the current directory to the vagrant folder inside of the virtual machine. We have synced the script folder to another directory, that is this temp. We have to go to the temp, so cd /temp ls. We have synced this particular script directory to this particular script folder. So ultimately you can sync many folders to many folders inside virtual machine, from host machine to virtual machine. It will just simply keep going on. So yeah, we have checked this thing, it is working. What is the next thing that we have to do? Let's have a look at the configuration, exactly what all we've done. This particular thing somehow, because of this thing, I encountered the error. So let me see. So system, it was just simply telling me that systemctl command not found. So systemctl status of Apache 2. It is giving me the same again, systemctl. Why is that so? On CentOS it was available, on Ubuntu Jammy or something, the another distro, that was available. Here it is not available, systemctl. That's insane. And that was the main reason. That simply means, now how am I gonna be doing it? If systemctl is not available, then first of all the command is wrong. Systemctl status Apache 2, it is not found. So let me, systemctl not found in Ubuntu Trusty 64. Okay, let me check this thing out. Systemctl not found in Ubuntu Trusty 64 box. Let me see if I can get something not found on Ubuntu. This. So systemctl, okay, this is not even found. So what can I do? In that case, first sudo dpkg okay, so few things that we can do over here. First you need to check if systemd package is installed. So sudo dpkgl and grep it using this, that's fine. So let me switch to the root user only directly. So ls and dpkg list of all the packages, and after that I wanna filter based on systemd. I think that's the command if I'm not wrong. Systemd, yeah, right, that's right. So let me make it smaller. So which file is it asking for? It is talking about systemd file. Do we have it over here? No, we do not. If not, then install it by sudo apt get install systemd, but if it does, it might damage. Okay, so sudo apt get install, let's do that. So apt install systemd, yes, and I'm working on the virtual machine, so I do not really care what happens with this. If it works, that's great. If it doesn't work, who cares? Systemctl status apache. Now it works. So ultimately we had to install these things, this thing manually, and it is just simply telling me that error no such a file or directory inactive. So ultimately it is inactive. So in that case, systemctl enable apache 2, it is going to be enabled. There's no such directory. Apache 2.service, do we have to say it like this? There's a lot of difference. If I were working on CentOS, things would have been simple the way I did back in time. But right now I'm working on Ubuntu and things are not exactly the same. So we'll have to just, not even Ubuntu, some other distro, not the normal one. Service. No such directory found. So okay, that's fine. How about a dpkg, or not even dpkg, if apt list is gonna be giving me the list of all the packages that I have. I'm gonna be filtering the Apache 2, I think that's the one, and I have these ones over here, and I think this is the one that I need to be running. Not sure, but let me try to run this. Systemctl status, and this reason no file or directory exists. Can I start this? How about deleting this? That's insane. How about sudo apt install httpd. httpd has no installation candidate. That simply means I'll have to install Apache 2 only. Apache 2. So even if I'm installing Apache 2, okay, this has been installed. Starting web server Apache 2. Apache 2 could not reliably determine the server's fully qualified domain using this set server name directive globally to suppress this message. There's no server name, that's the problem. And now what can I do? If I try to do the same thing on my local machine, of course I'll have to spin up, clear everything, ls, and ultimately sudo apt install install Apache 2. I'm gonna be installing it on my local machine now, and I already have systemctl. I should be able to find that as well. Let's see. So this is done. Systemctl, not even systemctl, apt, or probably sudo apt list, and I have to just simply filter based on Apache 2 name. So these are the files that I have got. And systemctl status Apache 2. It is working here in this particular case. So on my local machine it does. That simply means if I go to localhost 8080, I should be getting the real. So localhost 8080, not 8080, Yeah, sort of. Apache 2 works on 8080, right? How about if I go to 80 Apache? So if I go to localhost, I directly get this, and if I go to 8080 Apache Ubuntu default page, so where it actually works. Does it work on Apache like 80 port or 8080 port? Probably on both. And what it is simply telling me that calling user bin Apache 2 directly will not work with the default configuration. By default, Ubuntu does not allow access through web browsers to any file apart from this. So where this is where I have to go, and when enabled, user share web applications if your site is using the web document located elsewhere, such as SRV. You may need to whitelist your document or directory. Okay, let's see how it's gonna be going on. And if I go to 8080, I mean, even if I go to the local host, it's gonna be directly visible, mainly because not because it is just simply available on port 80, that is why. And I have to mainly go to this particular file sort of folder, and I have to change the index.html file. That's simple. So on my local machine it works, and even I can go there. So cd/etc, I think that's not act, where www.html. over here I have this index.html, cat index.html. so these things are visible over here. So vim, again I'm doing all these things on my local machine, and if I just simply say select, I mean if I want to remove everything, then what can I do? I think gg will bring me at the top, capital G will bring me at the bottom, v will be used for selecting. Yeah, that's right. So v is mainly used for selecting. So in that case, let me do one thing. Let me go at the top and say hi. So let me do one thing. First of all, let me go at the top and gg vg. Nope, it doesn't work. Never mind. Let me go to the top first of all. vg and hi there. How am I gonna? Wow. Let me undo everything. Alrighty, everything is undone, and vg done. Hi there. Nope, it doesn't work. Undo it. How am I supposed to be doing it? vg it doesn't make any difference. How to remove everything from that? So we are in the escape mode, extended mode, and if I'm in the command mode, if I run gg vg, everything is selected. Probably we need to paste it. If I want to remove everything, okay, dd, yeah, sorry, got it. Just forgot the command. Just remember that if you click D 2 times, it's everything is gonna be deleted, whatever is selected. And now over here I can just simply mention hi there, and let's simply say wow. It is just simply read only. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me quit first of all forcefully, and then sudo vim index.html. So gg vg. Okay, forget about this. Delete everything, and hi there. This is how it's gonna be going on. Save everything. Once it is saved, now if I reload the page, I'm gonna be getting hi there over here. So sort of think it like this. We have created a website. We have like run that. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? It's just like that. Now you can just simply get the pre-written code and just simply keep it inside this particular folder. There should be index.html file, and then it should be working. By the way, this works on my local machine anyway. ls, once you are inside this particular folder, you have to just simply place your index.html file over here, and it would be working as expected. The problem is it works on my local machine, and ls sudo apt remove apache 2. If I just simply remove this, nothing's gonna be working now. Of course, all these things are on my local machine. So because on the virtual machine that I'm running, first of all, systemcdl wasn't installed there by default, so I had to install systemd file, and because of that thing, hopefully it's not just simply supporting anything at all. If I just simply reload them, it should be gone. So yeah, this is how it just simply goes. So for that thing, I will have to use the image that actually supports that. I mean, as simple as that. So let me even do that really quick. Exit. This one doesn't work as expected, so what am I gonna be doing? Exit this one as well. This image that I got here, well, the remaining configuration, that simply means this worked. Even we were able to sync the folders. This network related stuff worked, because if I just simply vagrant SSH into the machine and check the IP of the machine, that should be exactly this. So the IP even worked as well. We were able to sort of configure everything except one thing. So what am I gonna do? That what is that thing called? IP address show. So it will be showing me the IP address, and this is the IP address. That's the same we mentioned over here. So yeah, it is working, but the thing is that this image doesn't support a lot of things. So first of all, what will I be doing? Vagrant destroy. It will be just simply vagrant destroy. It will be destroying the current machine that I have. Of course, yes. And then instead of running using this particular box, which one will I be using? I will be using probably this one, Ubuntu Jammy 64. This box, I mean Ubuntu box, works great. So let me replace it with this, and it does support systemctl. So ultimately it will be creating an Ubuntu virtual machine that will have this that will be created on the base of this particular box, Vagrant box. Remaining things are gonna be the same. I'm just simply gonna run same command again, but this time I can even enable the whole things that we had here. What all we wanted? We wanted this particular inline script to run whenever the virtual machine starts. So apt update, first of all, it needs to update. It needs to install Apache 2. Then zip unzip, probably git and wget. Curl is almost there. Is it there by default or not? We'll see. And then systemctl, it will start Apache 2, it will enable it, and then probably okay, that is it, this much only. And once this much we have done, after that let me just simply run this. So vagrant up will just simply start the virtual machine, but it will be starting using Ubuntu Jammy 64. This is nothing but the virtual box. Sorry, not virtual box, vagrant box. It should not be taking a lot of time because this is already installed on my machine, so it should be quick. And what it is saying, that few things. First of all, port 80 is available on 8080 on my host machine. Port 22 is available on 2200 port on my host machine. And net host only bridge network is also done. So ultimately I will be checking. I'm gonna be running something on port 80. Probably I can run what? I can actually run Nginx, that is directly gonna be running on port 80, and then I'll see. Well, it's gonna be taking some time anyway because I think it's working on the GUI part. Okay, let me just simply stop it. I mean, vagrant status. I hope that hasn't started yet, or it has. It has started. So vagrant destroy. Let me destroy this particular machine, and what I want, that I don't want this GUI part. It takes a lot of time to just simply configure. So where is that? Network synced folders. Okay, we are happy with that. GUI. What? Okay, this is the one. Let me just simply turn it off. And once this is turned off, let me say yes. First of all, over here, let it be destroyed, and then we'll start it again, and then it will not take a lot of time. So vagrant up will just simply start it, and this time it should be quick. If you're wondering, whenever we SSH into the machine, so whenever it's created, a vagrant file is created, and inside that particular vagrant file we have private SSH key over here, and that is why we are able to SSH into the machine. But of course this will create the SSH private key, and then it's gonna be visible over here. Again, I will not show it to you, but that can be shown too. This is just a virtual machine. Retrying connection key inserted. Ultimately we should be getting a private key here, shouldn't we? I'm inside my Ubuntu. What private key should be created? I haven't got that yet, so let's wait for a while. after once the private key is created, we should be getting the private key here. In line script is running right now. That simply means it is just simply installing what? It is installing first of all updating, then installing Apache to zip, unzip and all, and then simply doing this. So ultimately all the commands are gonna be running, and that's what it is working on. So ultimately these were just the normal commands actually. Okay, let's not worry about that. Let's wait for a while so that it doesn't take it gets everything done, and then we'll continue. And as for right now, it is just simply installing the packages and all. I had no idea. I thought it was because of the GUI thing, but it's just the opposite. Okay, never mind. So as it is just simply going on in the background, what can I do next? That next thing is going back to this DevOps section, talking about this Git stuff, and I mainly wanted to figure out this particular thing, right? So how you can just simply add the tag. We sort of have the commands as well. It's all about trying to add the tags and seeing whether it works or not. So for doing that thing, I need to go to this particular file, another one, let it work in the background, and meanwhile what I'll do, ls and cd, where should I be going? I have to go to this Ubuntu, and this is where I have tested dir, right? cd one directory back, ls cd ubuntu, ls cd test dir, ls, and here I have this server index.js, server.js, git remote v. We do not have anything added over here, so git add, and what is the URL of that, the git that we created? Probably we don't have it here literally. Okay, this is the one. So the URL was git remote add. Of course, git remote add origin we have to add. This is the HTTPS URL. Even we can go with this one because I have the key over here, so it doesn't really matter. So git remote add origin, and this is well, probably wrong command. Git remote or add origin. Git remote add origin. It's gonna be added. Once it is added, then we have to change the command. That's already done. And lastly, we have to push everything. So git push upstream is gonna be origin and main. So ultimately it's going to be pushed, right? Let's wait for a while, and once it is pushed, I should be able to get the result over here. So let me reload this, and yes, we got this normal index dot. We only got the index.ts over here. Why? And just hello there is, hi there is there. That simply means ls git status. We have server.js, but I don't think there's anything inside server.js. Well, we have a lot of things inside server.js, and clear it. So what is the problem with this? Index.js we have, server.js we have, git log, one line. We have these three things, we are here, and if I talk about this thing, so we have a few branches. Yeah, that's right. So whatever changes I made, they were inside what? They were inside this test branch over here, not in my main branch. That's the main problem. So for now I just have my main branch over here. I haven't even pushed those branches. So in that case, first of all, I should be able to push all the branches as well, even this particular thing not get done. Let me see what is happening with this. We will talk about that SSH. Why am I getting this particular here? By the way, machine has been created. That simply means system serial status of Apache 2. That should be, yeah, it is already running. Let me exit from here, and if I go to cd where www html, over here I'm gonna be getting the index.html file, vim index.html, and let me say, let me not say anything. Simply quit from let's simply quit from here. ls, as this particular file is running, that simply means I should be able to access this file on my local host machine. Why? It's running on my virtual machine, but I am exposing it directly, so I'm not able to get it here. Probably on 8080 port. Yeah, we are able to get it on we are able to get the result on 8080 port on my local machine, mainly because of this particular configuration. I said that I use what, this particular thing, that the thing that is running on my guest machine, that simply means virtual machine on port 80, that's gonna be the result will be available on port 8080, and that can actually be anything. That simply means instead of using localhost, I can use 0.0.0.0, and I'm still getting this result now because this is publicly available. So anything 1.2, 0.3, 0.4, well, that's bad, yeah. 192.168.56 .22 colon 8080. This is the private network, and I think it's not gonna be visible. Yeah, so I'll have to use 10 over here so that it's visible. I'm using the IP address of that. So on using the IP address, I will have to use the same port, that simply means port 80. So 5610 point, if I just run this much, so it is directly available. So any ultimately, if you are running Apache, so it will be locally available as well. Like it is locally available because if you are sending HTTP request, that is by default on port 80, and that is why it is just directly, you are able to see the result directly over here. You can even enter port 80 over here, you will be able to see the results. So if you anything is running on your local machine, you will be able to access the result using the just simply the ID, because whenever using just IP actually, because whenever you are using the IP, at the end of the day an HTTP request will be sent to that particular IP address, and HTTP request by default goes to port 80, so you do not need to mention anything like any port as such, like port 80, because that by default goes to port 80 only. So this is how it just simply works. Having said that, you can even mention this port 80 over here, and apart from this particular thing, you can even say 0.0.0.0 publicly, and you will have to mention 8080 because on localhost it is publicly available on port 8080. Having said that, you can even mention localhost over here, localhost. Just like this, and you will be getting the result. Now it is just simply telling you that you can go to this particular folder, you can change the index.html file, and then this will be working. So let me do one thing. Let me go to free HTML CSS templates. If I can get some from here, free. Let me get from here, and probably from here I will be able to get some HTML templates and all. We'll be just simply rendering them. I mean, whatever. Okay, that's they are the good ones anyway. And once we are here, in that case, what am I supposed to be doing now? Suppose I wanna go with this SpaceX. I mean, not SpaceX, but sort of this particular template. And let's see. We have to just simply get this template inside our virtual machine somehow. So that simply means we will have to use a wget to first of all download it inside the virtual machine, and then we can unzip this, and that is it. That's what we have to do, but it is taking sort of more time than expected. Okay, here we have this. The question is I can download it, right? But even if I can download this,